Jimmy Garoppolo's name, of course, has been drug around since they've moved up to this spot. Initially, Jimmy's their planned quarterback. Whoever they get is a guy that's going to learn. But we're hearing some rumblings around him possibly being on the trade block. Again, rumors today. Where do we stand with Jimmy Garoppolo as the 49ers starting quarterback, and will that continue to be in 2021?
Well, my understanding has been you can anticipate multiple teams are going to be checking in with the 49ers about a potential trade. The one team that's obvious on paper and has been linked to this forever is Garoppolo's old team, the Patriots. But you've got some complicating factors in any potential Jimmy G deal, because the 49ers, for one thing, are not going to give Garoppolo away. He could still, depending who they take at number 3, be their week 1 starter. He also has a no-trade clause that actually kicked in last month. It didn't exist in the first 3 years of his contract, but it does as of the beginning of the league year last month. And he's also due $25.5 million in 2021. So all he has to do to scuttle any deal is not agree to restructuring his contract. That's a lot of moving parts. It would be challenging for the 49ers to move him unless it would be part of potentially a bigger deal where some high-priced player is going back to the 49ers. Nothing imminent. There have been no discussions, I am told, about negotiating a new contract elsewhere, which would basically be a prerequisite to doing this deal. But that is going to be absolutely one of the things to watch over the coming days. We already got one quarterback trade yesterday with Teddy Bridgewater being dealt to Denver. Anytime, and that, of course, was a product of Sam Darnold being acquired by the Panthers. Anytime that you've got players joining teams, there is going to be some veterans who suddenly come available. The biggest challenge, perhaps of all, for moving any player, whether that is Julio Jones, Zach Ertz, any of the other names that we've heard in recent months, because the salary cap is down as much as it is this year, it's even trickier for teams to acquire a high-priced player. Nobody wants to take on salary right now. It doesn't mean that they can't, but you're talking about pay cuts and restructures, other things that are complicated. Remember, you cannot execute a trade for a player if you do not have the salary cap space. You can't say, well, we're going to restructure it. No, you need to have that worked out, or else the guy counts immediately against your cap and you're in violation. So any of those types of deals with veteran players, if they're going to happen, they can't happen while teams are on the clock, unless you're a team that's sitting there with a mountain of cap space.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to restructure and move things around in 15 minutes before your commissioner gets up and announces that pick. Speaking of which...
And you can't physical a guy. You can't have the medical on him either, so you run the risk. Somebody comes in, fails their physical, you gave up a 2021 draft pick, now you got to figure out what to do, getting 2022 compensation. It's not ideal for anyone, which is why these deals need to get done in advance.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.